I think we're about ready to get into this top 4 match, Adrian versus notShurit.
I am very excited. Again, we don't know what Adrian's playing. I didn't get to pay attention to everything that notShurit was up to, so I'm going into this just as excited.
I haven't peeked at Adrian's list yet. I know I did see it earlier today when I was going through the deck list, but I don't remember specifically what it is, so this will be a bit of a surprise. But it looks like notShurit is starting with an expend to draw by the looks of it, plus 3 sets and a pass. All right.
Oh, a 3 back row right out of the gate is pretty strong. Is this kind of what you were seeing last game, or does this seem to be a particularly good start?
This is not actually a start we really saw from notShurit. Usually it was an Elestral and pass, but starting off with the Gorgon's Gaze just saying, nope, you're not getting any card advantage. But I think this is a flexibility that notShurit's deck has access to. Just being able to expend your draw is perfectly fine because they've got plenty of ways to recoup those spirits, and on top of that, ways to start contesting these Elestrals.
Wow, okay. And Adrian sending that rabbit out in attack to 3 back row and just first thing is very brave.
Yeah, I think the thought process was, well, if it's a poison-tipped arrow, oh well. But even then, just getting punched by the Gorgon's Gaze, you've already seen... granted, Adrian doesn't know what notShurit's on, and you can see her likely doesn't matter because the Mustachian just contests the rabbit no matter if it's an attack or defense.
Very true. Might as well have gotten possibly a Spirit of Damage. Definitely worth a calculated risk there.
Yeah, it makes me wonder, did Adrian get a peek of what notShurit was up to, or just has seen enough from today to just figure Ash Rabbit defense? It's most likely getting outed. Let me just go for that easy damage there. We see the attack flip for the Mustachian to start contesting that rabbit. We'll see what the back row is.
Okay, we see the swing, and it seems like Adrian is going to answer this
with their own Gorgon's Gaze.
Okay.
So this one just to stop the attack, but also I can't remember what Clash was earlier today, but we're mentioning how people were firing off the Gorgon's Gaze in response to effects when they could also wait till the attack declaration to make sure they don't give the opponent an opportunity to cast something like a Earthquake or a Cryoblast. In this case, Cryoblast wouldn't work, but I do like the use of it during the battle phase instead. But using the Spirit off of the Rabbit?
Okay.
Wonder why that is. That's interesting to try to clear the board.
Yeah, I wonder, because it's not like we're seeing 2 spirits on Shurit's side, so we're not trying to stay under that limit for a Lavalith or a Resting or something.
And then I'm seeing an attack. I'm not quite sure what's going on here, because I thought the Mustachian got Gorgon's Gazed here, so it shouldn't be able to attack. Maybe they'll be able to fill in what on the back end, what happened there for our clarification, because I'm not quite sure. I know a judge is in with them, so it has to be the appropriate sequence of play, so we really must have just missed something. But it looks like it's back over to Adrian here to start trying to contest that Mustachian. But notably, it is going to be a real pain to deal with, because if Adrian casts something, that's switching right to 6 attack, and likely Adrian won't be able to hit over it.
Very true. And well,
so this is interesting sequence of events. Eddie here on cast. So at this moment, Eddie's effect is... I have to read its effect again, but I think that contests it very, very well, because right now its effect is on the chain, and I believe Mustachian's effect also goes on the chain here. So notShurit needs to decide if they want to expend a spirit, but then the Eddie can still choose to swap it if it does, and if notShurit doesn't, then Eddie can just choose not to swap it.
Oh, that's so interesting. And it seems that notShurit has opted to swap the stats here.
Seems like it, though. Normal cast and Elestral. I'll have to double check, because this is a bit of an interesting ruling on the Mustachian here, since it's normally an active effect. It might be the case that it's still an active effect, in which case what I just said would not be true. That'd be a good question for the judges as well, how that specifically works. I'm not up to date on my Mustachian rulings, but looks like an Earthquake comes out here.
That'll take care of an Eddie, for sure.
Ooh, looks like we got a confirmation of what happened in that clash at the Gorgon's Gaze. It was attempted during Battle Step to stop the stat swap. That's what it was. So
Okay.
they used it during battle step, which was the incorrect timing. So they used the Ash Rabbit because they're going to lose the Ash Rabbit or a Spirit anyway.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Thank you for the clarification on that. That is good to know. All of these funky stat swaps, all of the different orders of operation. And is that a foamy that we just saw come down? Look at him.
That is my favorite foamy. It's the Stellar one from Founders Edition that I absolutely love and had to get one signed by A-Drive himself. So
okay, now that is a flex.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I can show that one off after this one. But any Stellar Foamy is a superior Foamy, so happy to see that on board. And without it getting responded to by a PTA, it's likely not sure it might be able to get some value from it. And we'll see. Oh, but the Laurels does answer it.
Okay. Yeah. And I think that I would want to take that Foamy out personally.
Oh yeah, search out a card, get some heal potentially, or just utility out another one-cost water that you want. I most certainly would want to get rid of that Foamy, but at the same time, that Mustachian's pretty scary here.
Okay, and the Foamy does go down. I don't know. I feel like after that Gorgon's ruling, I would have a vendetta against this crab. And even if it was not the correct choice, I might make the decision either way.
Just get that thing off the board. But in Ash Rabbit here, I think this makes sense because it does force notShurit to most likely expend. So even though you're not getting rid of the Mustachian, you're at least forcing that one spirit out of notShurit.
That's very true. And this is sort of oh wait, I think we've been here before. Deja vu moment. This rabbit in attack. Water crab.
Yes, for sure. And I'm very curious from notShurit's perspective, having to play this all day, if there's like a clear indicator of when to expend with the Mustachian and when not to, and if the exhaustion from the day can really make you mix up when you should and when you shouldn't.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, these players have been going. I mean, we've fortunately been able to get breaks, but they have been going since this morning.
Yes. We're at, I think, 9.5 hours now, which is just crazy. And depending on how long their matches took would dictate how long of a break they would get in between matches.
Yeah, absolutely. And we see attack rabbit of Shurit's own coming out and a response from Adrian with a PTA.
Definitely love a good PTA on rabbit, whether it's in attack or defense, just shuts it down completely.
It is the perfect PTA target for sure.
So let's see a Zeus here. Okay. Is that... I'm curious why using the Zeus, maybe worried about being too low on water spirits to keep swapping with the Mustachian, potentially?
Oh, yeah, very interesting.
Yeah, we'll have to see here. I bet notShurit's really looking for an Ambrosia here to make up that spirit differential. Because as PK and I were saying in the match we were watching last round, with this sort of low to the ground, efficient style deck, you really want to be up on spirits. But at the same time, notShurit is proven that they can definitely make this work even a bit behind.
Definitely. And I think that we did see the Zeus to buff up the Mouse Station. So you might be right about the lack of water spirits.
Yeah, probably banking on an Ambrosia soon. But let's see what Adrian ends up doing while behind on board. That would have been for the PTA. But while ahead on spirits, behind on board, really looking for a way to come back. But that Mustachian is going to be very annoying. But eventually notShurit has to run out of water spirits.
Yes, and if that time is now, if the time is later, that remains to be seen. But this is definitely, like you said, this low to the ground strategy. It likes to just get a guy out each turn. And it is so easy when you're playing against a deck like this to fall behind and to get outpaced.
Yes, and then a Toxion here further hurts that, just being able to leverage the fact that Adrian is ahead on spirits, because now if the Mustachian wants to contest the Toxion, that's 2 spirits down versus the 1, and it doesn't even guarantee that the Toxion goes away, unlike when you use Mustachian's effect on your turn.
That's true. A Galaxy here would be huge for the Mouse Station so that it doesn't have to, like you said, expend a spirit every single time it wants to attack.
Looks like instead just held the Tsunami. This will be a real interesting play with whatever notShurit has to play next turn. Switching that Toxion to defense means that something like a Galaxy here would still contest an attack, but something maybe a bit more low to the ground, but still above 2 defense can start contesting it, so they don't have to rely on that expend to swap to 6 attack.
Yes, absolutely. And we're still, I mean, I would say comparable board states. That Zeus is very scary. And
I can't tell what that is. Oh, it's a Necruff.
Oh, okay, puppy. Couldn't quite see it through the glare. And was that properly enchanted?
I can't tell. It kind of looks like a lunar spirit, but the color is a little bit off, so I could be wrong, but it's not quite the same color as the Necruff.
Yeah, we hopefully we'll see that in a minute, but we do see an Ambrosia coming down on notShurit's side, which is exactly what they needed, because that spirit differential, I'm sure, was very much starting to be felt.
Oh yeah, bringing 6 to 9 difference, and now you've got control of the board. The Necruff being able to hit in for some pressure against that Toxeon might be able to swing it back into their favor, really just having been able to stall out with that Crab on board. But at some point, you can't keep stalling with it. You need to start... Ooh, but the swap there just to try to guarantee the Toxeon goes down.
Okay, so there are still water spirits, or those might be from the Ambrosia, I suppose. They could have been run down. But this is very, very interesting.
Okay.
Oh, a Stellar Vapyro. Okay.
Yes. We got confirmation. It is properly enchanted, so that will burn 1. This is actually a great way to try to swing the spirits back in your favor here. So that's now down to, I think, notShurit will be a 1 less spirit, but clearly have the board advantage here.
Yes, and notShurit really saw that Toxeon come down and said, if you want to burn me this turn, I'm going to be burning you next turn with the puppy.
But both of them being at low spirits, they have to be sweating a little bit because every single play will really matter in this game. And the Eddy is a phenomenal one, especially if it's on that Necruff. Just bypass that Mustachian.
Absolutely. I have to wonder if maybe one of those back row is going to be able to save it.
Yeah, we really haven't seen much back row these past few turns, just kind of passing. But an Earthquake, that's huge.
Yeah. I wonder if he's going to target the crab. Yep. And the crab, finally, he was the little crab that could. He stuck around for a long time.
Yeah, but was that for better or for worse? Because it also used up most of Shurit's spirits.
That's very true.
We'll see here. And a shield, I don't know if you love that. While in the simplified board state, it helps you get another 2 spirits of damage. It just means that Eddy can come wreak havoc next turn. Very
true. Positions are not safe, and I don't know if at this point there's something that notShurit can do to guarantee that that isn't an issue next turn.
I think the real easy play is if they can just find a Sluggle or a Dratoggle to heal up a ton, they'd probably be feeling phenomenal here, because sure, their Necruff can be outed by the Eddy, but now they're up on spirits. Yeah, it looks like it's just 1. We'll see here. I think they're debating on expending to draw.
That's what it looks like. Oh,
nope. Ooh, their own Eddy.
An Eddy of their own.
That's interesting, because in one regard, they could have held the Eddy in hand, expecting Adrian to play their Eddy to contest the Necruff, and then Eddy their Eddy next turn. But at the same time, just valuing getting that 2 additional spirits worth of damage. But I think that also can make sense if they can top deck an Elestral, or if that back row is a final hidden gem to try to close out this game.
True. Possibly could be Tsunami, something that would be cost effective, but I imagine that we would have seen that. Obviously with Eddy, we are not going to be looking at Tsunami being live, but if something else comes out, possibly.
Yeah, and now notShurit probably isn't loving that Ambrosia here, because now it just means that even with that back row, they can't end it next turn. And now they need to make sure they have a way to contest the board for another turn after that off of top decks alone. Ugh, that's not a place I'd want to be in.
No, absolutely not. And these Ambrosias, they keep showing up at just the right time, at the critical junction. And this game is no exception.
Notably looping back a Frost, I'm wondering if they have a Cryoblast in grip, or just hoping to top deck a Cryoblast to be able to deal with the Necruff or the Eddy. Ooh, no, there is the Cryoblast.
There it is. It is, in fact, Cryoblast time.
So this, I'm assuming they're debating an Eddy or Necruff here. They decide to go for the Necruff. And again, Adrian really leveraging this late game simplified board state in their favor, having the card advantage. And it looks like they still have another 2 cards. Just casting out the Eddy here. That contests the Eddy. And now Shurit either needs a back row or 2 top deck something.
Yes. I kind of wonder at this point. Obviously, there are only so many more actions that can be taken. And a poison-tipped arrow.
It's not quite what you want to see, but it is something.
Because I think that it still is able to take out the other Eddy with the PTA if it flips it to defense.
Yep, it's at 2 attack to Eddy's 1 defense, so...
Yep.
Oh, but taking it off? Interesting. That does make sense. Oh, no, it's same spirit differential, so it doesn't really matter here. But
yeah, but that Eddy went out on his own terms, so in a way, it is a win, for sure.
Yes, but now, notShurit down to 1 spirit and a top deck. Is it an Elestral?
I don't know. I'm at the edge of my seat. I want to see what this is.
It's another Mustachian.
The return.
So this pretty much just says, all right, Adrian, look, if you have an Elestral next turn, it's going to be GG. If you don't have an Elestral and not an Ambrosia, I now win. So with 2 cards, we'll see. Does Adrian have that Elestral, or is notShurit going to get this win just barely?
Oh, this is one of the closest games that I've ever seen, coming down to literally the last turn, 1-0, and it looks like notShurit has taken it. It really is the little crab that could.
Just barely. That has to hurt, because Adrian knows just any Elestral would have done it, but just to not see it. But it looks like we're starting here. notShurit expending to draw. Same start as last time. Will he set 3 though?
I don't know. It worked out well for them last time, so running it back would not be okay. Only setting 2, so not quite the same.
See, I don't know if I'm not sure if I really want to play it back exactly the same as last time, because it came down to a top deck on Adrian's end whether or not they were going to win it or not.
And is that a Toxeon coming out turn 1, already starting the burn?
Hey, that's pretty good. Get something out on board before the Mustachian hits. That way, you always have the option to just not cast anything and attack into it to contest it.
And we see 2 set also on Adrian's side.
So good back row roar going here. That's really, I think, the key in a lot of these low to the ground matchups is that back row. How many do you see? How do you utilize them? And the more I think about it, the more I see notShurit play, the more I'm like, oh my gosh, Mustachian is a absolute annoyance. Oh, here it's an Eddy, which is great to contest for, but it's an absolute annoyance with so few removal options. If it sticks, it's really difficult to deal with.
Oh, and then we see a PTA coming out to answer this Eddy as Toxeon moves into defense position because of the Eddy effect.
That must feel great because but the Cryoblast.
Wow.
Whew. This is a phenomenal back and forth between these 2 casters. Just as you think one caster is getting the advantage, the other one pulls out another card just to show that, nope, this game state is not as simple as it may appear.
Yes, absolutely. This quick back and forth is so exciting to see. And we'll probably see the expend to pop that Eddy. And we now have a totally clear board, 2 set on, or possibly just the 1 set over on Adrian's side. 2 set over on Shurit's side, but everything else is wide open right now.
As Adrian, I feel great here because now you get to reset the tempo of the game in your favor, and a Galaxy will do just that.
Ooh, and that one I feel like is a little bit complicated, knowing that the Mouse Station is a very real threat on the other side, but Galaxy in its own right, absolutely a threat as well.
Oh yeah. And the real fun thing with Galaxy in this situation, Water v Water, specifically against Mustachian, is you can play a ton of mind games here, specifically with Gorgon's Gaze, but also now with Dense Fog. Because if you wait till Battle Step when a Mustachian attacks your Galaxy, you can Gorgon's Gaze your own Galaxy, and the trade goes back in your favor because Galaxy would have to attack to the one on the Mustachian.
And we were talking about this before. But it's not going to matter because here comes an earthquake.
Oh, we don't get interesting scenarios, I guess.
The one of Earthquake showing up just when notShurit needed it, and a third back row going down. This is looking intimidating for Adrian. While yes, being able to set the tempo with setting the card into the empty field, the 3 back row is certainly a lot to contend with. And a misenchanted Eddie coming down.
I didn't call this out, but Shurit did expend to draw on that last turn. So again, going down on spirits, but not quite setting the tempo. And that PTA is going to take him down additional 3 spirits. 1 for the PTA, 1 for the expend for the PTA, and then 1 for the attack. That's not an amazing position to be in.
I feel like I need to duck with the amount of PTAs that we have seen flying around this game.
Yes, and yet where's the Centaur launching all of these? That's my question.
An excellent question. I'm sure PK is out there somewhere saying, that's what I'm saying. I can hear it now.
We'll see. It's back now. notShurit has a chance to regain, set the tempo of the game, but also down 5 spirits. We'll see if there's a way to come back, but considering Adrian's also on Thunder, we might see Quackle on their end, so it's not even like notShurit has the advantage of having an in-element Elestral to heal up, but we do see the Ambrosia. That's a nice way to start.
Absolutely, that will in fact heal you back up. And this is very similar to last game that notShurit ended up winning, where they were very much down in spirits for a long time, but as we saw, it came down to a top deck. They were able to outlast.
I hope that notShurit's not feeling the stress that I'm feeling being in these positions, because if I was the one playing, I'd just be like, oh my gosh, this is not good. How am I going to win this?
I definitely feel when I am watching, I can feel empathy for both sides. And it's like, oh, I wouldn't want to be there. Oh, I wouldn't want to be there. Ooh. And a Necruff coming out. And I believe that is Frost Enchanted. Is that what I saw?
Yes, it is. It's that nice Stellar Flare Mine. Interesting choice.
Boy. An icy puppy.
This is an interesting play by notShurit. I think they're trying to make sure this Necruff cannot be outed by a Cryoblast. I think we even saw one this game, but I think it's safe to say, with that being a 3 of removal still in the game, that you really do want to make sure that you're playing around that and not just losing tempo to that. But the Astrabbit coming out here, trying to dig for something.
And an attack again. Very interesting. No response to the Rabbit cast, no PTA, which I'm shocked because there have been so many already. And Rabbit's effect is free to go. Looking at the top 3 of the deck, picking Adrian's favorite and putting it in the hand.
Yeah, I'm really curious why this attack position play, because there's no benefit. It's not like Adrian can do a tsunami play here. Oh, the Earthquake.
Okay, we have seen both one of Earthquakes this game, and we are officially tied in spirits 10-10. notShurit is going to be taking the 1 direct from this Rabbit, unless, nope, not going to answer it, just going to take the damage, which I think is probably what feels better there than having to shield a Rabbit to protect nothing.
With only 2 attack stat, most normal casts will take care of this. And at least from notShurit's perspective, with the spirit count so tight, you probably can just leverage these back row at a highly opportune moment. Ooh, a Rabbit.
An attack Rabbit into an attack Rabbit, but notShurit's is stellar, so he is getting the flex points here.
We'll see here. We'll see what notShurit gets. Well, we won't know exactly, but they got something hopefully good. And I'm curious if notShurit will just choose to crash the Rabbits to try to keep the board quite simple and just a simple pass go between the 2 of them.
It seems like that is absolutely what they are looking to do. And some...
What?
Oh! And an Argo on a Rabbit? Are we about to see Necklace of Harmonia? Scythe of Demeter? What's going on? And a response from Adrian as well, which is...
Shield of Achilles.
Shield. Oh my gosh.
Ooh, quite the exchange. Was that pulled in from the side deck? Because PK and I did not see that in the top 8 match.
I think there had to be a little scrappy side deck for sure.
That is very interesting. Unfortunately, did not pay off here with the shield, being able to just make it so you use 2 spirits. So like, I think Adrian got on the better exchange of this. Not only does he still have his Ash Rabbit on board, but also forced a card and 2 spirits to equal the shield from notShurit.
Well, and we do see a Scythe of Demeter coming out. So that is, in fact, the artifact that notShurit went and grabbed. And it seems that they're going to be casting that out as well.
Well, that's even more painful because I'm guessing Argo, how it's worded, it's a mandatory resolve. You're forced to give it to that Ash Rabbit. So you're in a, just, that has to be just insult to injury.
Absolutely. But does that mean that this Scythe is going to stick around? Can it be attached to nothing?
No, it has to be empowered to something. So yeah, I just read Argo up. It does not say anywhere that is mandatory. So because the Ash Rabbit got shielded, it was forced to resolve, meaning notShurit just gave Adrian's Rabbit a nice boost that now they have to deal with.
Oh my gosh. Or it could be Nexus. Maybe there's some sort of Nexus thing that notShurit is hoping to do. But yeah, this is looking unfortunate for sure.
Yeah, though notShurit is up a game, so it's not the end of the world here. And we see a Gorgon's Gaze great Siphon. That's a good call to make, especially with the Ash Rabbit still trying to dig for more cards. So ended up being fine.
Yes, there we go. Reutilizing those spirits.
So we'll see again this. Oh, but a Ambrosia, because notably Gorgon's Gaze does not stop the siphoning of spirits off of that Elestral, just the Nexus and Enchanting.
And if you're Adrian, I think you know that that spirit on the attack rabbit could possibly be in danger going into next turn, possibly informs us on what may or may not be set in that back row.
Yeah. And also I was just paying, oh wait, notShurit's already down to 2 spirits?
That was a very expensive turn with Argo and Scythe.
Yeah. Ooh. Adrian's stuff at 9. Oh gosh. I was also just noticing that the timer now is below 20 minutes, and it looks like we're potentially going to a game 3. If a winner is not declared 3 turns after time is called, it's the player with the most spirits, I believe, that does end up winning it.
Yes, absolutely. And it has come down to that many times in Elestrals, but we do see an Ambrosia coming from notShurit's side, it continuing this game on, and you're absolutely right. Falling below that 20-minute mark is rough, having not gone into game 3. But notShurit has come back before. It is possible that they are going to be able to wrap it up this game too.
Yeah, if notShurit can pull it out, then they don't even need to worry about that scenario. That's just it for top 4. But I don't know. We still got a game here, that's for sure.
Absolutely, and we now have, sort of mirroring the 2 attack rabbits that we had before, we now have the 2 defense rabbits, and it seems that Rabbit Effect cast everything was good. notShurit was able to go into their deck and get whatever it is that they wanted or needed.
Yeah, Rabbit Gaming, these things just keep multiplying, but it is probably the best generic consistency Elestral in the game right now, hence why every deck is running it. But passing over to Adrian, let's see what they have to do to start contesting. Maybe an Eddie? Yeah, because Adrian, while he's sitting at a good position here at 9 spirits without having much to do, it's what are you doing with that advantage?
Re-enchanting the rabbit is what you're doing with that advantage, which could be baiting a Gorgons, or giving you an advantage from something that you get from your rabbit.
Yeah, as long as you can just wait till Shurit burns themselves out, you're not feeling too bad. And especially, we've seen the Toxion out of Adrian, so that's definitely a viable strategy, is just to say, all right, we can sit here and wait, but eventually I can find my Toxion and start burning you. You're going to have to use spirits at some point.
Very true. And have we seen Water Crab at all this second game?
No, we have not.
I wonder if that's something that was sided out.
Maybe, or maybe we will see the little crab that could, but notably an Ambrosia coming out of Adrian. Ooh.
Okay. That might have been what was grabbed from the rabbit, exactly what Adrian wanted to see. And we are once again looking at that timer, getting a little sweaty, worrying about this possible game 3 here.
Yeah, under 15 minutes now. They're going to have to play at a lightning pace if they're going to finish this best of 3, if it does come to that.
Yes, and Adrian is setting one more and simply passing back over to notShurit.
Yeah, we'll see what Shurit has, because that spirit differential is definitely hurting them here. We'll see what happens, because I'm honestly curious. I don't know the procedure for if game 2 goes to time and then a tie results from that in top 4. But a foamy here.
A foamy! Okay.
See if it gets PTA'd here.
With 3 back row. I mean, are there any PTA? Is that Necklace of Harmonia?
That is.
Oh, on a foamy? Absolutely incredible. I guess this is to play around possibly Eddie? But that is very interesting.
I'm assuming it's on Astrabbit instead, because casting on the foamy just means you're sacrificing it at the end of your turn due to not being able to expend 2. So what is the play here? Because what does that benefit you?
Yeah, I guess if it is on the rabbit, then it, but we see a pass.
Let me double check Necklace. I thought it would be forced to send to Underworld. Get up real quick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you can't burn the spirits at the end of the turn, then you have to get rid of it.
I'm assuming it's on the opponent's Astrabbit, which is what are you playing at here? Because
that's very interesting.
Oh, wait, hold up. Here's the wording on Necklace of Harmonia. During their end phase, the controller of the empowered Elestral must expend 2. If they cannot, this Necklace of Harmonia is destroyed.
Okay, and so we're thinking that it's on the opposite bunny?
That way, the opponent's the one who has to expend the 2, because it's the empowered Elestral's controller that does.
Okay, well, Necklace has nonetheless disappeared here. And we see, is that a Viscerus coming down?
It is a Viscerus. So clearly Adrian's like, nah, you're not burning me with that silly Necklace play. I'm just going to siphon off my rabbit. Didn't quite see what was siphoned off to, and then just tag out into the Viscerus. I think it was a Thunderstorm, actually, and that's how the Argo back row went away.
Oh, okay. Adrian not letting, while that was a very cool sort of gambit from notShurit, Adrian was not here for it, was not going to let that happen.
Quite an interesting play. Like, if the roles were reversed and Adrian was at a low spirit count, that would have been actually quite fascinating, forcing Adrian to give up a body on board instead.
Yes, absolutely. Although, is that still the foamy?
That's the Jatagua. The foamy was attacked over by the Viscerus and tagged out into.
Okay, and then Jatagua came out. Got it. Thank you.
This is a great way for notShurit to recoup those spirits. Even just a simple re-enchant onto the Jatagua next turn will just give them those extra spirits. And I don't know. I don't even know if we're going to finish up this game before time.
You might be right, because we are officially in heel stall territory on notShurit's side.
This is absolutely wild what's going on here. And we've only seen Ambrosia from Adrian's side.
And a re-enchant on the Jatagua, getting more healing back. Oh my gosh. And you're right, notShurit also still has those Ambrosias.
That is crazy. Can Jatagua put some of those water back in my water ball? Because this match has been going on so long, I am practically out of water.
Getting into Jatagua was a game changer for notShurit.
For sure. It just gave him those extra spirits needed. And the third Ambrosia from Adrian.
All right. I think you should just assume you're never seeing water in your water bottle, because we are going to be here for a very long time at this rate.
I guess so. Dang. This is just a game of attrition here. Both players not out of cards in hand either, and certainly not out of spirits.
No, or strength of heart, I would venture to say, is also a plenty in today's match.
And there's the Demeter coming out.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so now we're in classic Earth territory on Adrian's side of the board. I wonder if this was what was sided in. Very interesting.
Maybe, but I understand the play here, because in the event that one of the Viscerus gets bounced by a shield, Adrian wouldn't be able to take out the Astrabbit, but with the Demeter on board, now they can play around a Tsunami as well with that re-enchant and just
Yup.
guarantee get that rabbit off of the board. I don't know. I think I'd rather get the Chautauqua off the board.
The healing is definitely very scary here. And keeping notShurit in the game, keeping this game going. Adrian, have we seen all 3 Ambrosias over on their side?
I'm pretty sure we have. I think we've seen maybe 1 or 2 on notShurit, but I know we've seen all 3 on Adrian's side.
So I think Adrian at this point, unless they are running something that I cannot conceive of in their deck, that is all the healing we're going to see from them. So you're right. They are on a timer. That Chautauqua is probably scary. And we are going to see a shield coming off of the Chautauqua, paying off of the Chautauqua to send the water enchanted Viserys back to hand.
Definitely think preserving that Chautauqua is the right play. It is your way to make sure you can stay up on spirits. But you still need a way to answer that Viserys here. So I mean, you can reach out to the Chautauqua, but what does that really accomplish here?
Yeah, next turn for sure. And Eddie, that's our boy. He can do anything. I can't think of anything he cannot do. He is going to turn that Viserys to defense. And while we see 3 back row over on Adrian's side, we are in fact going to see an altar of stars, which means that we might have an Eddie going down here.
Yeah, I think so. And then this gets the Viserys out on... Oh, did they just call game here? I think so. Yeah, that makes sense. Just cast out a Viserys. notShurit be left at 1 spirit. So we're getting a game 3 here with 6 minutes left to go on the timer. And what's kind of crazy about this is, which kind of is a bit unfortunate why this clash is going so long, the winner of the other room gets a great chance to rest up here and prepare for the finals.
Yes, absolutely. Drink some caffeine. And that Ass Rabbit coming down, honestly, if I'm notShurit, I'm looking for Ambrosia. Anything that can get you spirits in this timer meta that we are playing in.
Absolutely. Or Chautauqua, a Sluggle if they're running it, just anything to just say, no, I will be at more spirits than you when time is called.
Exactly.
That is Earthquake.
Okay. So Rabbit not hanging around. And you know what? Totally fair. Anytime a bunny hangs around, it is not a good time. And Adrian probably wanting to, with the knowledge that notShurit is running those healing cards, get as much burn, there we go, as possible, as much damage into notShurit as they can before the healing starts.
Yeah, I was like, oh, Earthquake, you're going -1 spirit for that. But with a Toxion, then that puts you in the spirit lead, which feels great. But a Cryoblast coming out.
Ooh, okay.
We're going to see a lot of back and forth here, I expect.
Yeah, they're both playing incredibly aggressively, making sure that boards do not stick and nothing gets to develop here. And is that the Chautauqua?
Yes, that is a huge play. Recover to attack for 1. And regardless, Adrian, probably not worth trying to use a counter rune here because you'll just be losing even more spirits.
Oh my goodness. And no back row set over on notShurit's side. So I wonder how we are going to get this Chautauqua to stick around if notShurit is even too concerned about that. And we see a Rabbit come out in attack. Adrian probably looking for Ambrosia, looking for something to deal with this current situation.
Because let's be real, the spirit count hitting 0, not important right now. It's that just which number is higher at the end of this match, that will determine this. But a Zeus coming out as well, which is an interesting play because it does take some spirits from the spirit deck. But at the same time, it guarantees just being able to contest stuff. But I'm guessing it's setting up an altar play as well.
Oh, we did see that last game. And the Zeus was not... Did you see how many spirits got loaded up on him?
Looked like 2 spirits to me.
Okay, so keeping that one around, you're right, maybe for an altar or something like that. And an Eddie coming out, not wanting to move that Rabbit to defense, I would imagine. Oh.
But and Art is doing that?
And yet,
curious.
Nevertheless.
good call. I don't think I did mention that spirits on board do count at the end of the count because they are still technically in place. So playing 2 from the Zeus doesn't hurt the chances to be able to win this spirit race, but it does mean they are vulnerable to removal.
Yes, very true. And this Eddie going to be going down. And on that note, speaking of spirits on board counting, we have another Viscerus coming out, casting out in defense. And this is a terrifying board state from Adrian. And notShurit still ahead in spirits right now, but completely open board, no back row set. They haven't even set anything this entire game.
Under 30 seconds left on the clock, though notably, Adrian, if we include the spirits on board, is now ahead. Because that's 4 spirits on board, getting up to 16 to notShurit's 15.
Very true.
Oh, this is intense.
This is going to be just coming down to the wire. I imagine Eddie... Earthquake! Okay, trying to get rid of those spirits on board, which you really do have to do if you're notShurit. And Eddie, I'm not sure if we're going to see Eddie sit like last time or attempt to swing possibly over that Viscerus.
That does make sense here. Again, it's just a game of spirits, but the Altar of Stars comes out to try to preserve those spirits on board and get some advantage. Because it looks like right now, the count from the spirit count is super crucial to be accurate for what we're saying here, but it looks like the timer has expired, so casters should be going to a 3-turn exchange to see who can keep up on top. And that's really what matters. Is it wasn't so much the timer hitting 0, but rather, are you getting yourself into a good enough position to win in those 3 turns?
Yeah, this is absolutely wild. And great shout on that altar play, by the way.
Yeah, it does keep spirits on board, but we'll see. That's more pressure for attacks. Yeah, we'll just have to see how this ends up working out. But Adrian looks to be in the lead here. Can put with no back row on notShurit's side. That will deal a ton of damage that Shurit will have to make up somehow.
And just FYI, so you know, Adrian is now turn 1. That last turn from notShurit was turn 0. So we're going to have turn 2 over on notShurit's side, and then the final turn 3, back when we come to Adrian again.
And that is preferred from Adrian because it means they get the final say, and being up with 4 spirits pressuring is likely going to seal the deal here.
I cannot think of anything that is not more expensive than it is worth for notShurit to do in this one turn.
We'll see what they've got. They need to have a bunch of Ambrosias and probably a Tsunami to boot to be able to have a chance of getting a high enough spirit count to be able to outlast it. Because really, this is the final turn for notShurit to really get themselves into that winning position. We'll see what they've got.
Yeah, but I'm looking at possibly a swing for 4, swing for 5 if we have another Elestral come down or a re-enchant of one of the Elestrals. And that is very scary. And we see a rabbit come down.
Well, just digging for anything to be able to do. I mean, Back might be able to wall it up since the other Viscerus was answered. So just being able to prevent Adrian from attacking could be huge here, but still needs a way to recover those spirits.
Absolutely. I am just like, my mouth is wanting to hang open. I am at the edge of my seat. This once again is down to the wire, and an Ambrosia coming out. That was exactly what they wanted to see there, and they got it. Really the only thing that will keep them in this game, but I don't see any way for them to do enough to contest all the spirits on board as well.
Yeah, I mean, technically here, I think Adrian could just pass, and that'd be that, because that's 9 spirits between notShurit stuff. And while Adrian has 9 spirits in spirit deck, he also has 5 on board for 14 total for this count. So I wonder if Adrian will still play it out here.
Yeah, I think that we have probably... Is that a Specterus?
It is. It's the Shattered Stars art.
Goodness gracious. I mean, yes. I think probably if I'm notShurit, I would scoop at this point and not take the 4 billion damage. Oh my gosh.
Whew. Yeah, just contest the rabbit. I'm pretty sure that is it.
Wow.
What a crazy game.
One of those 3 games was absolutely crazy.
I've got no words for this. This was truly a game of attrition, grind game from beginning to end.